What's going on, Rovers? Mr. Shalat back with another tutorial. Today's lesson, we're going over how to get organized on your Google Drive. So you're going to need your iPad, open up the Google Drive app, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to share my screen so you guys can watch. Obviously, my lips aren't synced because that's how Zoom does. Anyway, let's switch over. All right, so you should be seeing an iPad screen right now. The account that I'm looking at, this is a generic student account. This isn't anyone in the class, so don't worry about your stuff being shown. So what you're seeing on the screen, the way Google Drive is set up, you have 4 separate tabs, okay? 4 separate tabs. And those tabs down at the bottom, so I have my mouse here. You can kind of follow the mouse. I'll move over top of it here. You have the priority tab. The priority tab are like your recent documents or anything you set as a priority inside of Google, okay? So you can set things as a priority so they always show up at the top, or it's your most recent documents. This screen to me is useless, okay? I mean, unless it's the document you were just working on 20 minutes ago, and you want to access it, boom, it's going to be right there. But to me, I really don't like this particular screen. Coming across on the bottom, that third icon there, if I tap on it on my iPad here, what this is going to be is any teacher that shared anything with you, that is where all that information is going to end up. So if you have multiple teachers, oh, check out Google Drive, I shared this with you, it's always going to show up under the shared tab down there at the bottom, okay? And then the last one, that's the one we're going to focus on today because this is your stuff, all right? This is all the stuff you've been working on. So the main thing we're doing today is talking about organization. And when we talk organization, we have students that have gone their whole high school career and never gotten organized on their Google Drives. So it's been a few years of us doing this since we've had the iPads, and you've got hundreds of files, all right? Or you're that student that's coming up from 9th grade and you've got all your middle school files. Well, they're all good and well, and they got you through middle school, but you don't necessarily need to see them now that you're here at the high school. So what we need to do is we need to get organized. To get organized in Google Drive, we do that via folders. So looking at this student's account here, all right, you're going to have a folder already, and it's going to be called Classroom. That's where all of your material gets posted. So if a teacher posts something in Classroom, you can access it through the folder. It also shows you what you've uploaded to Google Classroom. So as I scroll through here, you're going to see this particular student here has a ton of different files. All right, a lot of different files going on, and some of you have screens that just keep on scrolling. You've got so many screens. What I would suggest, all right, is to get organized. So right now you're enrolled in several classes here at the high school. What you will want to do is in the lower right-hand corner, you're going to see a big plus sign, right? And with that big plus, I'm going to tap on it. It's going to open up a submenu. On that submenu, you'll see the word folder, okay? So I'm going to tap folder, and it's going to ask you to give that folder a name. The default is untitled folder. We never leave anything untitled, right? Don't leave anything untitled. So what do we want to call this folder? Well, my suggestion, you don't have to follow it, but it's best practice and my students love it, is that when you're giving this a name, make a folder for each class you're currently enrolled in. You're going to be using this iPad a lot. So having so many files, you got to have places to put them. So if I'm making a folder, let's say I'm making one for English class, all right? Well, if I'm making an English class folder, all right, maybe I'm in English 10, okay? Or I'm in English 12 or 9 or 11, whatever you're in, okay? So I'm gonna make one English 12. I'll tap on create. After I tap create, you're gonna see that we now have that folder available to us up here at the top, all right? Then I can add another folder. So again, I would tap that big plus button down there in the corner, all right? Tap on the folder button, it's gonna ask me to give it a name. All right, so now maybe I have a history class. So I'm gonna type history, all right? Tap create. Now I have 2 folders at the top. So as you can see, we're gonna amass a bunch of files here in this particular window. Now there's 2 views, and I'll get to that in a minute. But what we want to do is make sure we have enough folders. The one folder I would definitely add, if you're not organized, if you have never organized your drive before, I would throw up another folder, and I would call this old work. Okay, or I would call it middle school work, or give it a name that you'll know what it is. where you have files, you don't necessarily want to delete them because you know you put a lot of time and effort in all of these files. They're not trash, but you can store them on your drive and we could, save them to the cloud. That's what this is all about, okay? Saving things to the cloud. So again, I'll tap on create, and now I have an old work file, all right? So now that I have all these files, they need to go into a folder, all right? So what I would do is you take your finger, you press and hold on one of the files that you want to move, and then you can drag it into one of the folders. So let's say I take this very first file here, okay? And I press and hold on it. I'm going to drag that over top of old work and let go, and it has disappeared, okay? It has actually moved into that folder. If I tap on the old work file, okay, if I tap on old work, there it is. It's all there by itself. All right. Now you can even do folders inside of folders. And my students, I stress that a lot because what happens is, you get through unit 1, you might have 10 files. Okay. Now you're starting in unit 2 and you're going to add 10 more files. Well, you might as well get organized. So inside of this folder, you can make another folder. So I would come down and tap on that plus button and I could say unit 1 or vocab, Shakespeare project, whatever you're working on, you can put all of the files for that one particular project or unit all in one folder, okay? It gets you really organized. And Google Drive gets very, very complex as far as the number of files you're saving it to. So if you can get organized and you can get all these files and folders, it's even better. So I'm gonna tap top left-hand corner here. There's an arrow. If I tap that back left, all right, now we're back to the original. So I could take each of these files now, and again, press and hold, drag it over top of the folder I want to go to. I'm not going to do that. This is like a dummy account, but that's how you move things around, okay? You can also, if you have multiple files and you would like to move multiple files into one folder. So, for instance, these top 3 files, if I'm looking at my screen here, I want to move these 3 files, I want to put them in one folder. Well, rather than press and drag, press and drag, press and drag, and have to do that hundreds of times, okay, because you might have tons of files, if you press and hold on one, you'll notice a checkbox, okay? Well, now I can tap on those first 3, and then I can just press and drag, okay? I can press and drag that over. Will it let me do it? No, it's not letting me. What do I got to do? My drive. Okay, so if you select multiple files, let's take a look. So I'll go through that again, just so I'm not losing anybody, all right? Because I know people are going to want to select multiple files. So let's say these top 3 files that I have here, I want to put in the English 12 folder, okay? So if I press and hold on the first one and I check the other boxes, we're good to go, all right? Now, I got to move this out of the way. At the top, you're going to see an arrow, okay? So as I move my screen up here, you got this arrow pointing to the right. If you tap on that, it's going to say, hey, where do you want to move these files to? You tap on My Drive, and that's going to bring up all your folders. And there it says English 12. So I'm going to tap on English 12. Lower right-hand corner, you'll see it says Move Here. I tap on Move Here, and do I confirm? Yes, move them. All right, and you'll see those files disappear. But if I open up the English 12 folder, those 3 files are there, okay? It's great stuff, it really is. You gotta get organized, okay? It's the beginning of the school year, okay? It's a fresh start. Your iPad should be clean. You should not have hundreds of files that you're not going to use this school year, okay? It's gonna make life difficult on you. So if you can go through and follow these steps, and it might take you some time. If you've never organized your drive, this might take you a while, okay? Or, if you don't have a whole lot saved there, it's not going to take you too long. But you got to make the folders, okay? That's important, all right? So what else do I need to go over? I think that's pretty good, all right? For each of the folders here, the 2 views. Let me go over how to do the 2 views, all right? So at the top, I got to move my Zoom video thing here. There we go. All right, so at the top, there's another button. It's hidden right here. See that little button? If I tap on that on my screen, okay, it gives you all the files in a traditional, what you would see on a computer, okay? Rather than seeing big icons, which you really wouldn't see, now like on a flash drive where you can see all of the files, okay? That might be easier for you to move things around too, okay? Because again, you can just press and hold and then drag it into the folder that you want to go to, all right? I'm not necessarily going to do that now, but you can use either of these two views, all right? So it'll switch back, toggle between the two, whichever you prefer, all right? But I feel that this is the very first thing you should be doing on your iPad, okay, by far. If you're not organized, let's get organized. Start the year fresh. Good luck and go Rovers. Talk to you soon.